Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Morning.
Is anybody listening?
Nobody's listening.
Oh, man.
Sorry to burst your bubble on a
Not
beautiful
a one?
morning.
Oh, no.
No, I don't think anybody listened this week.
Okay.
If you listen this week, maybe go leave us a comment on iTunes before we drive this car off the side of the road.
Well, let's get real. If actually nobody's listening, let's just have this be the place where we hash it out.
What do you want to hash out with me?
Do you know what I've realized lately? I think we have a fair amount of sex for people who have been married for 14 years and together 18 years.
We've been married for 14 years?
Yeah.
For reals?
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. Did you know that in February it's our 15th anniversary?
Ooh, that seems sort of special.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like, it seems it's not a 20th or a 10.
But it's worthy
nice.
of something fun.
It's worthy than a little something extra than the 14th, right?
Yeah, and the 14th was great, remember?
No.
We went to the Ojai Valley Inn.
See, this is the great thing about us that we keep going to the Ojai Valley Inn because it makes it easy for me to remember. Because I should have just been like, we went to Ojai? And you would have been like, yeah.
But, we had 2 nights there. And remember, we were like, we really need 3 nights. So that might be something. But
I think we had sex 11 times that trip.
No, we didn't. I did want to...
What makes you think that, though?
Well, I've been talking to people recently.
Are you like... I think my husband is making me do the sex too much. How much sex are you guys having?
Well, it is an interesting topic of discussion because, no, I don't bring it up like that. Like, guys, I have to have sex so much. No.
Sex, guys. Am I right? Ugh.
No. Let me establish this.
Yeah.
I'm a sexual person. Obviously, you take one look at me and you get that. I'm joking. But I like it. Mm-hmm. I enjoy it. I think there is something physiologically about, like, not to get into gender norms, but, my work here in that department is kind of done in terms of biology. Like, I made the 2 babies, had the 2 babies. I think my hormones, I think we've talked about, I might be in perimenopause. Like, I just don't need it as often as you like to need it.
But you mean in I'm
talking about like caveman era. I think there is something to, this is not across the board. I have friends whose husbands don't have as high sex drives as my friends. Like, this is just a generalization I'm making.
But I mean, you're getting to you though, like you've done your evolutionary
duty here on Earth.
You're worthless to me now.
Yeah. Yes.
I see.
But no, it's not about you, Andy. This isn't framing it in the you have nothing to do with this. This is all just about my drive and what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Now, luckily, I live in a day and age where like sexual pleasure for women counts for something, which I think is actually a relatively new concept, and that it's sex for us is beyond just shaming or creating babies or male dominance. So what I'm trying to get at is I'm not I mean, I'm into sex. But
you're into sex, but you're not into sex.
No, I am. Can you stop being so funny about this? When you're talking about you, feel free to do whatever it is that you're doing.
Okay.
because I'm trying to defend myself because you painted this picture like I'm not into sex, which is so not fair. Going into this whole conversation, which is all about how lucky you are, honestly,
I'm a lucky guy.
This whole conversation is about how lucky you are that, I feel like a lot of people in our situation, and even not as deep into it as we are not having nearly as much sex as we do, which I understand. But I do feel like I think your love language that's a big part of it. Mm-hmm. You feel connected to me through that.
Love it. Yeah.
And so, and also I will say, anytime we go longer than like a week, it's not intentional, but you get this edge, and it's kind of like PMS or something. Like this edge creeps in, and it's like a switch flips. Like the minute we have sex, it's gone. So knowing that, it's also like, I feel like I could probably go every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Once every 2 weeks. You probably feel like you could go like 3 times a week.
That would be my ideal scenario.
So we're meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
But having said that,
tell me about the surveying you're doing. Where are you getting your data?
I feel like in some cases it's like once every 3 months.
In
a happy marriage.
Okay.
I'd say more frequently it seems to be, like once every 2 or 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So congratulations.
I feel really great about that. For the record, we're once a week people.
Yes.
Is that what that's the
Sorry, I didn't even establish that, but no one's listening. So this is just us talking.
So that's the bar that we've set. And as you point out, if it's more than a week, I start
growing horns or something.
Yeah, I guess so. That's great. I feel like, interestingly enough, my data is that we're and I haven't asked that many people.
I also would love to know what your pool is, because not that many of your friends are in like similar situations as us.
What's our situation?
That we've been married for over a decade. Like you have friends who are like divorced or making or single.
Yeah.
But what's your data? Tell me.
No, I was going to say of married data, I've heard similar numbers as us.
But like, where are you getting this data?
I'll tell you off air. It doesn't seem
like one person.
No. Let's move on from this. I feel like you want me to like out people or something.
No, I'm just be general. Be like,
oh yeah, from married couples in like happily married couple.
And you're hearing from both people who are in the couple?
Oh no, I'm hearing from
the guy.
The guy.
I'm not trusting that.
So you're hearing from the guy and the woman?
No, I'm hearing from the woman.
Oh, now this seems so. Okay. Wait a minute here.
But I also, you're, being very cagey about your data source. I'm not asking you to name names, but I'm like, is this one person? Is it 2 or is it 10?
Yeah, okay. It's probably not 10. I probably don't have a 10-person data source.
Well, just tell me what the number is. Is it 1 or 2?
Maybe 2 or 3 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even think of 3 people that you would be talking to about this that are in a similar situation.
Gotcha.
But I'll find out later.
Maybe you will.
Okay.
So, but you're hearing.
In fact, I had a reaction the other day that was so over the top of like, wow, what? And actually, I've gotten that reaction talking about this in, I guess I'm thinking back over the years. Like, I think we're good, actually.
Oh, I think we're great.
Yeah. But you're trying to make the case that we're not that great.
No. I'm not making that case. I'm trying to make the case that And I'm thinking of, like a specific time where this conversation came up with some couple friends, and there were more people closer to what our thing than I would have expected. I would have guessed most people are like, once every couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
And like in a couple that's been together for a while. But everyone's different. Some people are as you're saying, once every couple months. For us, once a week works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, though, and I think there's a ton of data on this, it is one of the keys to a long-lasting partnership.
Oh.
Like, it's a big thing. It is
Where have you read that?
It's actually popped up in my TikTok when I was first getting started on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like there's articles. I feel like that's a very easy Google thing. But that is like a...
Let's look at it.
Please.
The key to a long-lasting marriage.
And then put sex after it to see. That'll pull up.
Okay. Oh. It turns out, I mean, this is the first thing that's coming up. Is this from Women's Health? It turns out the key to a long and happy marriage is sex. According to a recent study in the Journal of Gerontology, Series B, researchers interviewed 732 married couples between the ages of 57 and 85 and found that those who reported having little to no sex reported lower levels of marriage satisfaction. Interesting. Now, obviously, these findings can go one of two ways. Either couples are happier because they're having more sex, or they're having more sex because they're happier with their relationship. Regardless, it seems pretty clear that it's crucial to make sex a priority in any relationship. Plus, the more time you dedicate to your sex life, the more likely you are to keep things hot in the long run. Cool.
And I feel like as I get older, most of your fantasies revolve around these like kind of gross old men.
Yeah. No.
So like I can
that's
maybe
not true.
let myself go.
That's not true. The difference between my fantasies and like what I am attracted to cannot be understated.
Okay.
And I think that this is hard for some people to understand. That like
I think I understand it actually.
I don't find my fantasies attractive in my real life.
But they're
and they're not all old gross men. I mean,
predominantly though, let's be honest. Come on. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here. I just think nobody's listening, so let's be honest.
I mean, for anyone, no one is listening, so it doesn't fucking matter. But like,
give the primo example.
Okay,
the
primo example was I sometimes do a mashup, and the other thing that I learned about a decade ago is that, I use my imagination for sex fantasies. I don't use porn or anything visual or whatever. I usually like pull from different things I've heard or seen or whatever, and a lot of times it's almost always about like the emotional element of what's going on in this fantasy. It's a story playing out. Usually pretty dark. And I'm not in it. You're watching it. I'm watching it, but I'm not like behind a tree watching it. It's like I'm the director of a movie that I'm kind of in. It's almost though that it's almost like is it almost like you're watching the porn on your phone, but there is no phone? Kind of, yeah. But I'm kind of in it. So you're behind a tree. You are there. There's a voyeuristic But I'm seeing it through my eyes. It's a point of view situation, but I'm not like the people who are in the scene can't see me. Yeah, it's almost like it's POV, but you're hiding. Let's say that. Okay. So but you're not necessarily hiding isn't a part of it. Exactly. I understand. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, the like classic story was I love the movie Christmas Vacation. Who doesn't? I'm getting hard just thinking about it. Okay. And then I had watched this documentary, I don't know, 18 years ago about this like sex club in New York that was so gross that there was like, you know, it seemed like a good time. Everyone's naked. There's a hot tub. There's a pool. But like everyone's just fucking and there's a buffet. Like that's what I can't get past is that there was a buffet.
You got to eat, but I'm with you. I'm not excited about that buffet, but I do understand its existence.
But also like they described like, you know, one of the rooms that had like kind of a shag carpeting had like a crabs infestation because of all the sex that was happening.
Yeah.
Yucky stuff.
Okay.
But the yucky is not part of my fantasy. So I was imagining.
Lies.
I forget what it was called. It was called like, it was some Greek name. It was a famous club. But there's also a dark history to it. Very, very dark.
Okay. Move forward.
But the fantasy is that Clark Griswold and Evelyn, his wife, beautiful
Beverly D'Angelo,
doesn't get much sexier than that.
Yeah.
Have been invited there by his boss, who's played by
Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah,
I forget his first name.
Me too. And he's kind of the asshole boss in that movie who's like, give me someone on the phone. And it's like, Griswold, you know, the whole premise is that he's... So, anyway, Clark and Beverly have been invited to meet up with him. And as they come in, she's like, this is a sex club. And at every step, I mean, it's kind of like grooming, which is not great. This is a fantasy, so I'm just going to let myself say it without caveats. But basically, it's like, I'm not comfortable with this. And Clark's like, well, it's for my boss. Like, I might be up for a promotion type thing. Mm-hmm. And so they get naked. They go into the club. The boss is kind of holding court in the hot tub.
Sure.
He invites them into the hot tub. They get into the hot tub. They're drinking. Like, one thing... Oh, no. Andy's got a mouth full of Topo Chicos.
I'm good. Keep going. Ooh, it's getting hot in here. Keep going.
They're drinking, and then, you know, the boss basically starts to seduce Beverly D'Angelo, and she
in the hot tub.
Yeah, and at first she's like, not sure if she should go along with it, but she doesn't want to risk Clark's career opportunities, and so she starts to kind of go along with it, and then she starts to enjoy it.
Oh.
And that makes Clark uncomfortable, and then Clark's like, but I'm the reason she's in this situation to begin with, and he has to watch it, basically.
So they start hooking up in the hot tub?
Yeah.
Is there anyone else in the hot tub at this point?
No.
But background scene, I'm imagining lots of
people walking around and going to the buffet and stuff. Yeah. So that's kind of a classic example. But now I want to say I don't find nothing against him. You know, I'm sure he's a nice person. I don't find the boss to be attractive. What I find interesting is the dynamic of this kind of unattractive guy having this power and basically like no one wins in this situation except for him.
And you like that?
I don't know. But that's one example. Another example.
That's a classic one.
Another classic. Now, this proves that it's not just old, gross men. There was this waiter at the coffee shop we used to go to, and I couldn't stand him.
Okay.
But he was young and I think objectively attractive, but I found him kind of repulsive.
Yeah.
Because he thought he was so attractive. Mm-hmm. And he was the type of server who would be like, yeah, what can I get you? And like looking around like we're not even there, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know, I just want to say I would always still tip 20%. Like I never, even though I didn't like this guy, but he did appear, to my surprise, one time where he was like his nephew or niece was having a birthday party and the babysitter, you know, older, we'll put her at 18, was there helping clean up afterwards, and he was there, and they basically start having sex in the pool. That was another one. He's not a gross person. In fact, a lot of people would probably say he's really attractive.
But you want to make it abundantly clear that's not part of the fantasy, though. His good looks are almost like a ding against him in this fantasy. It's more that he's an asshole at the coffee shop, and now he's hooking up with the babysitter.
I don't even know. I was like, whoa, when he showed up. But, you know, yeah. But there is the common thread of like, I don't like these guys. I don't think they're good people.
Gotcha.
What does that say?
I'm afraid to entertain that thought.
I want to say I don't find that in real life attractive, obviously. Like, even if, let's say, you weren't in the picture or something, if you had him lined up with a bunch of other guys, he'd be the last I would pick, even though he's in my fantasy. Interesting.
That is interesting.
But I didn't know, like, I didn't even know. My friends thought it was interesting, you know, when this first came to light many, many, many years ago. Most people are in their own fantasies.
Yeah. Somewhere in the shot.
Which just isn't the way. Can I say something that happened recently since no one's listening?
Yeah.
I was very happy to hear, because we were talking about your masturbating stuff.
Sure.
Every few years I like to check in and go, how often is that happening and when? Because truly I feel like since we've had kids, I've never caught you.
And you used to catch me all the time.
I did used to catch you, and you know, we talked about it on our other podcast. For some reason you like to do it on your knees. Is that still true? We already talked.
Listen, we've gone over this at length. This is like, if you need to hear about this, maybe we should start a Patreon or something like that. I have different positions. I'm not, you know.
I don't mean to embarrass you. Do you want me to take that out? We can.
No.
Okay.
Oh, please.
I mean, I did just explain in detail but anyway. Yeah. That, and it's not like a religious thing. It just goes back to, we don't know why.
I think it's more of I'm not like a lame guy doing it.
Yeah.
That almost feels like too indulgent and like,
right.
I'm like, get it out of the way. And I want to be in some sort of position where, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, but you've kept it really under wraps, I would say, which is great because I think it's good to have conversations about like, Andy, I've never opened a phone or computer or anything of Andy's where there's porn, because obviously that's, with kids around, you really need to be careful about that. And I don't even know what your kind of system is with that, because whatever it is, you obviously take it very seriously. But, you know, I don't know how often this is happening. I don't know when, where, whatever. And recently I was asking you some questions about it, and you informed me that now you usually use your immation. I'm so happy. I don't know why that made me so happy for some reason.
Let me be clear. I wouldn't say usually yet, but I'm trying to tip the scale to imagination, and I'm getting pretty close. So maybe that is almost usual. Porn is just so it's so easy now, and it really is. I don't think it's great for you.
I really don't, and that's why I think imagination is. It's kind of the difference. Go with me on this. Mm-hmm. You know, we're worried about our kids and screen time, and like our kids now are on their iPads at school all day. Like this is, like the school systems now are on iPads. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like before the pandemic, it was like kids should not be on screens at all during the week or whatever, like little amounts. Mm-hmm. And all screens are kind of the same. Now I truly feel like us watching TV as a family and watching the same show or movie is totally fine.
And it's I agree. It's a totally different experience. You're watching as a group. It's a collective experience.
It's a collective experience. It doesn't feel like it's rotting brains. It doesn't, like, it's such a different experience than seeing them watching like YouTube on their individual tablets or playing video games, which I'm not even that against video games as long as they're, you know, not violent or whatever. Mm-hmm. But to me, the difference is night and day between like watching a wholesome movie or TV show together as a family. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, like the difference between using your imagination versus looking at porn, I feel is the same sort of difference in how good it is or bad it is for you. And to make an example of this, I know someone whose ex, unbeknownst to them, was addicted to porn.
Okay.
And it came into, like, how do I even go? Basically, it fucked shit up for their partner so much, and that their partner then brought it into their lives, and like where the partner, it would take him hours to finish. And he wanted to do like increasingly, you know, wilder and like more porny type things. Mm-hmm. And increasingly also, I think, felt like more and more disconnected. It felt like this like weird performance sex where also like my friend was like, you know, you hear about guys not lasting or whatever. And this is kind of all they knew, and thinking like, oh, wow, well, my husband lasts for a really long time, but like way too long.
Yeah.
Like, and truly the problem was that the husband couldn't climax because he was so overstimulated. Like, and I think that happens with porn. Like, it's almost too hard a hit of whatever is coming at you.
Yeah.
And you get desensitized to it. And also, like, I really think about this for our kids. And, you know, who would have thunk, like, going back to old Playboy magazines? I mean, that's so wholesome now.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about this in the I'm Sorry room, like planting actual magazines for your kids, because their first introduction to like any sort of sexualized content can shape them in a way. And I think, you know, we're going to have conversations with our kids about porn,
sure,
about what type of porn it is, what it means to especially women in porn. Like, I feel like so many boys now who are watching porn think that, and girls, but I mean, think that that's what sex is, when it's like this, I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a lot of sexual dysfunction later on for these kids who this was their introduction to sex. And this is like, can you imagine if before you had even had sex, you had like 5 years under your belt of seeing porn? And the vast majority of porn online is like violent towards women. There's like a lot of very bad. You never watch stuff like that.
I'm not into that. There's everything at your fingertip. So easy.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Like, that's
honestly.
like, there's everything. It's crazy. For me, I think why I want to go more imagination, tilt the scale. I enjoy porn. I love looking at it, right? Maybe that's not the right words, but you know what I mean. I do like it, right? It is a dopamine hit or whatever, and can be a turn on. But to me, it's very similar to, like, lately I've really been enjoying TikTok, and there's a very similar thing. You keep getting this hit over.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's good for you. Take even the sex stuff out of it for a second.
Right.
Just that dopamine hit on demand.
Yeah.
And having this, like, just endless pit of doing that is not great for you. And then when you couple that with sex and all the problems with that, it's just not great. So that's what makes me be like, wanting to tip the scale the other way. Am I going to stop watching porn completely? Probably super doubtful.
Can I ask you, we've actually never talked about this. Like, what is your system, though, for porn to make sure that it's never there when your phone's...
Oh, when the kids see it?
Yeah.
I have, if I'm using, like, my phone, I have a browser on my phone that I think Firefox makes that always deletes anything you've looked at, and it can't be opened without your Face ID.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think Firefox makes it. I forget what the name of it is, but yeah, it's like one of those Mozilla or something like that.
And so you have a specific app you open?
Yeah, it's just like a browser. Like, it would be like using Chrome or Safari or something.
And it has Face ID.
Yeah.
That's great.
But not only that, there's nothing left in it ever. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, like,
good.
even if it got opened up, there would not be anything there.
Have you ever felt, and we can edit this out if you don't want to. I don't think you have.
Yeah.
But, like, porn or masturbating has become a problem in your life?
Oh, there's definitely been times over the years where, yeah, you're doing it more than, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know.
All right, not of course, but I mean, just more like it like, it's very, I mean, I think it's similar to, it can be similar to smoking cigarettes, drinking too much booze, gambling.
Addictive.
It's all, yeah, it falls in the same thing. Same thing with people on TikTok that are like, I'm fucking watching TikTok 4 hours a day. I think anything like that, depending on where your mental state is, can creep in more or less during different times. So I've definitely had more times where I'm like masturbating more than I want to.
Are you in that right now?
No, I feel like I'm in a pretty good space.
And what is too much?
Ooh. I don't know.
Be honest.
I think too much would be like if there was like, if it happened more than once a day, like a couple days in a row, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Got it.
Like, why are you so bored? Or what are you procrastinating against? Or,
I
mean, it is also a great procrastination thing.
Great. We were talking to a friend who, like, doesn't own a TV. And I feel like isn't on TikTok or Instagram or anything. And this friend was talking about, like, the amount of productivity in their lives. They have kids, you know, they're, like, just moved, they're unpacking, and still had the time to, like, when they were moving, they harvested all of the apples from their, like, the apple tree in their old place for one last time, and then canned like 1 million cans of apple pie filling to use for the winter to make apple pies.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you do this? And they were just like, I don't have TV. I don't waste my time doing whatever the fuck you people are doing.
Well, yeah, think of the distractions we have, and we're not supposed to be able to, like, okay, your fantasy by the way,
yeah,
I can find on Pornhub probably, right?
No, you cannot.
Not starring those exact same people, but I can find a dirty old man boss with the
In a hot tub?
Yeah. Like I can find that.
Are you serious?
I would imagine.
That's funny.
But what I'm saying is we're not as creatures supposed to be able to find that instantly. Like it goes against and that's the thing with like TikTok. We're not supposed to be able to see all these different scenarios 30 seconds after 30 seconds. We're getting transported to all these new worlds. Boom, 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 boom. Where it used to be like, no, you gotta get off your ass and go to the dance class and watch the person dance. Then after that, get in your car, or not even, let's go back way further in time. Then get up and fucking hoe your land to get the vegetables out.
Right.
Instead of like, I'm watching this person dance. Now I'm seeing this person cook this great meal. Now I'm seeing
it's so
the
overloading.
Hot girl like reveal the bikini. Now I'm doing this. But you know what I mean? Like all these crazy things.
Yeah.
One after another, after another, after another, within 2 minutes, which is supposed to take like 3 weeks of your life.
Right. You're supposed to go like watch your wife cooking, or not, it doesn't have to be wife. Watch someone cooking the dinner, then go to the beach and watch the girl reveal the bikini. Yes. Then go, yeah, you're right.
Be a proper creep.
Yes.
Not a creep that's at
the way
home
to do it in a way
behind
that's
your
wholesome.
Phone.
Yes. That is so true.
Yeah.
What is it all about, you know? It was funny. Now I'm going on a like tangent, but Otis this morning came in and was talking about this show they watched, Summer Camp Island, which is so cute.
Yeah, I love that show.
But, you know, they're talking about cosmic Mars. Like, I guess they're settling. There's some storyline about Mars. And as he was saying it, I was like, we are going to live on other planets someday. It's the first time I know that this is not a new idea. And I'm sure it will be after my lifetime. But it's the first time I was like, oh, shit. Like, that's actually going to be a part of this universe. And the people who live on other planets are eventually going to be like, can you believe that there was one time, like, remember that dying planet Earth? That was like, everyone was from there.
Yeah. Could be.
I feel like that's probably very likely. I'm
just like, are they going to live long enough on the other new planets? It's all going to be inside.
Think about...
Is that sustainable? Being in a mall for the rest of your life?
Right. I mean, I don't know. Think about how much things have changed during our lifetime. Like, it was crazy. So I was talking to Anna Marie about this, my sister, about the new podcast project that will be coming soon. Little teaser. And we were reminiscing about a time in our lives about 22 years ago, and like walking through the timeline and realizing like, oh, right, because I didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Like, and us both being like, no, wait, is that right? Could you have not had a phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a phone.
Just remember, do you remember like coordinating plans of like meeting up with people and like you hoped it'd work out, you know? Yeah. You know, or like going to the movies
waiting at
with
the Galleria.
people.
I'm literally standing outside the movie theater at the Galleria.
Yeah, definitely had times going to the movie at the Galleria where someone didn't show and you're like, fuck, well, I guess I'm not going to the movie now. Like, where the fuck are they?
Yes.
Or just not being able to find people.
Right.
Are they already in the movie? We said we were going to meet here at this time. Did they go to the different movie time?
Mm-hmm.
And you know a way to find out instantly.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It is wild.
It's hard not to feel doomed. Like talking about this sex stuff. I mean, at least now we know, and I don't think conversations solve everything, but I do think that educating kids about what's it called? Like media consumption or digital consumption I think it's just going to become more and more important, not even with porn and sex stuff, but of taking care of yourself, even like what you're talking about, just like watching TikTok, let's say. Let's take the sex out of it.
Sure.
Like having to have boundaries around what you expose yourself to.
Right.
Which is really hard, especially for like developing minds and curiosity. I mean, I would have been like, I would have watched so much porn as a teenager probably because I was just so curious. And I mean, all of us probably are. Yeah. But that could have been really damaging. I mean, I was lucky it wasn't available at the time.
It's interesting. That's a great, like, I wonder what the stats are on that. Also, is it like, it's such an easy thing to come across that it becomes, you do get desensitized to it in that way too. There is the desensitization of just watching this crazy porn that you're like, well, I guess that's what normal sex is like, right? You already mentioned that. Mm-hmm. But then is there also the like...
I'm really worried about like the violence against women.
Yeah.
Like this idea that it's this like violent, aggressive, dominating, you know, by and large, that is what it is. Like, so it makes me feel like we're just fucked.
On the flip side, it's like, I mean, you have that area of stuff moving forward. Then there is this interesting, you know, sex positive movement. And then when you factor in like OnlyFans into all this stuff, the amount of money people are making on OnlyFans now is mind-boggling, right? And for some people, super empowering. So it's like, what is that? How is that going to change just how we perceive all of this stuff 10 years out?
And here's a good time for us to plug our OnlyFans page. I'm just kidding. But actually, here's a good time to plug to all of the nobodies who aren't listening. I made an Instagram page for us. It's Nobody's Listening Right. I don't know yet what sort of fun content's going to be on there, but we are figuring it out and would love to just have a community and people can talk about the, you know, I'd love to hear comments on this subject. Like if anyone has thoughts on it. So we'll post episodes and we'll post things that we've talked about and whatever. I already have an idea of what we're going to post for this one. So that's fun. Go check that out.
But like, okay, getting back to OnlyFans, my favorite subject in the world.
Do you look at that?
No, I never have. And I've wanted to because I'm like, I want to know, but I haven't crossed that road and I don't think I'm going to cross that road. Unless it's for something that's not sexy. But I am very curious. But like, let me say this. There's people making, you know, $300,000 a day on OnlyFans.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And if you pull up top OnlyFans celebrities.
How do I do this in a way it's like not on my computer?
No, that's not going to be a weird thing to have on your computer. Because this will be like...
It's going to mess with my algorithm.
But no, this is going to bring up like, you know, you at People Magazine articles and stuff.
Okay, Bella Thorne. Oh, Cardi B. I didn't know that there were like regular people on there.
Oh yeah, tons of regular people.
Cardi B, Amber Rose, Tyga. Okay. What am I looking for now?
Just like numbers. What are they making a year?
Oh, top OnlyFans celebrities. What are they making money for? Andy doesn't like how I Google things. Okay, how much celebrities get paid? And this was a recent article, so that's great. Bella Thorne.
She famously made like $1 million the first day she went on the platform.
Did.
Yeah, but has since I want to say makes like $100 million a year or something crazy off of it.
Does she do sex stuff?
She is like a super sex positive. I feel like you would know more about her than I do because she's very.
I have no idea.
But yeah, she's like a sex positive, you know, influencer, actress. So I'm imagining there's some sort of content, but it's not. I don't think it's like XXX content.
It doesn't say. I mean, Larsa Pippen, who's a Real Housewife of Miami, she makes $10,000 a day. Elena Davies, who's a Big Brother person, makes 61 grand a year. So this isn't like what you're talking about.
10 grand a day is definitely what I'm talking about. That's nothing to joke about.
So that's 360 grand a year.
No, it's 3 million.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, yeah, people are making millions a year. Okay. Karina Kopf, who I have no idea who she is.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, her first tit picture ever made 165 grand. Her first month, she made 4.2 million.
It's a lot of dough.
Oh my God, what are we doing? Do you think there is a market we've talked about this. Is there a market for me as like...
If our OnlyFans was just a static shot of you topless on this podcast, we would make at least $1 million a year.
No.
Yeah.
No. But truly.
Yeah.
Because these women are all very, very hot and stuff. But do you think there is like a market for, like a state house senator's wife from Indiana?
Yes. Because I think, number one, there's something for everybody. People are into all sorts of things. But I think it's not OnlyFans, and I don't know enough because I've truly never like really gone down the wormhole on someone's profile because I think you have to subscribe.
Yeah.
But I think I'm guessing the people that do well, it's not just like boob pics of the senator's wife's boobs. She's got to be this character that like you're subscribing for whoever this person is, right? Like,
so is like, I mean, we joked about having an OnlyFans page for this podcast.
Look up top OnlyFans comedians. Okay,
real fast. There's a human being named Bad Baby.
She was famous for being on like Jerry Springer
Dr.
or something
Phil.
Of Dr. Phil.
Doing what?
She had a clip that went viral. Cash Me Outside. Do you remember that meme? Like Catch Me or Cash Me Outside?
Mm-mm.
Anyways, that led to a record deal. She got signed to Atlantic, put out a few songs, then got dropped by Atlantic, and then started OnlyFans. And
does she have sex on OnlyFans?
I don't think she has sex, but I think there's...
sexual content?
Yeah.
She made over $1 million on her first day on the app. And then she said she made $53 million in a year.
It's a lot of money. But let's use her as an example. That's an interesting one where she became this cultural figure overnight, and the whole persona was like kind of being an asshole, like shithead kid that was on Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, okay, and then maybe I'll try to be a music artist or rapper, and that didn't work out. Whatever, and you're signed to a major record label.
Mm-hmm.
Then after this, she discovers this platform where she is completely in control of the destiny.
Yeah.
You might not agree with the content, but if she's like, fuck, I have no problem posting pictures of me naked. I'm making $53 million a year and I'm my own boss and I'm completely dictating the content. I'm not like working for some gross porn studio that's making me fuck random dudes for two grand or what. You know what I mean? Like, there is something potentially empowering about that, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Wow, we've really covered it all.
What a sexy episode.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Okay.
Well, this was interesting. Didn't know we'd go here today.
Nobody's listening.
Literally nobody's listening. If one of you sweet nobodies out there is listening and feels like kicking us a review, it would mean the world to us. Otherwise, we'll just keep doing it in this void.
Love it.
But I've enjoyed this.
Love it.
All right. Well, good night.
Good night.